you have to take that drug dealer approach to things. Let me give you a little taste. Here's a little taste. And if you like it, you got to come to Big Daddy for more. Looking for something to help us burn out bright as we start episode number 106 of the Promo UPFront Podcast. I am one of your hosts, Bill Petrie. With me, as always, the staff sergeant of sunscreen himself, the one and only Kirby Hasseman. Kirby, how in the Kashaktan are you today?
I'm doing well, man. Doing well. Just in the dog days, right? Dog days of summer. Getting out there mowing a lot, as you know. You and I talk offline. That's what I do. That's my hobby now, is mowing. And but you know, business is going pretty well. Trying to keep all the plates spinning. So I'm doing well. How about you, buddy?
Good. It's been a busy, interesting week. It's just been blowing and going. So no complaints over here. And I know how much you love summer. You wish for it all year long. But let me ask you a question, Kirby.
Okay.
If I could grant you 3 wishes,
okay,
what would those wishes be?
Oh, wow. 3 wishes. I think I would say, unlimited vacation. So unlimited summer, like you kind of suggest. I'd say really good beer with no calories.
Okay.
And a supplier that makes my busy distributor life easy.
Kirby, I can't help you with the first 2, but as fate would have it, I can help you with number 3. That's right. But I'm about to make that wish come true for you as a distributor and every distributor, because I'm going to grant that 3rd wish. All you need to do is work with our good friends over at Evans. That's right, Kirby. They not only have top-notch merchandise designed for better living, they've built their entire internal ecosystem and culture around making it easy to work with them. Creating a gift box programs with Evans? Easy. Placing an order with Evans? Easy. Continual communication throughout the order process with Evans? Easy. You need help with a reorder from Evans? Easy. That's right. That's all they do.
I love it.
You see? Yeah. And so it's clear why so many distributors love working with Evans. Just like your 3rd wish, Kirby, smart distributors in the know understand that working with Evans, it's just easy. So, Mr. and Mrs. Distributor, when you're ready to make your life easier, head over to evans-mfg.com. You're not going to be sorry you did, and they're going to work their tails off to grant any wish you have.
Love it.
All right, Kirby. I wish to be talking to you today. So I got my wish.
Okay, cool.
I think I have the upfront section of the podcast this morning.
Okay.
Kind of slow in the promo world a little bit, or at least not what I saw. But I do have, I want to just declare something.
Okay. Cool.
Kirby, the Shack is back.
Okay. The Shack is back.
Do you have any idea what that means?
I think it's a great book, I think, that
no,
my wife liked.
Okay, Radio Shack. Remember Radio Shack?
Oh, I do. Yeah.
Brand new marketing strategy. Are you familiar with this?
No, not at all.
All right. So the 101-year-old retailer has completely changed their image around their Twitter feed. Have you followed at Radio Shack on Twitter?
No, not at all.
Okay, you might want to do that. So this is how they are positioning themselves. Old business plan, politely sell HDMI cords to customers. New business plan, snapping necks and cashing checks. So
okay. So it's Radio Shack is an MMA franchise. Got it.
No, you're not too far off. So what they're doing, they're now like a cryptocurrency company. Okay. And so what they're trying to do is get people's attention with an incredibly funny but extremely not safe for work and super vulgar Twitter feed. Okay. And it is funny. Okay. So it's meant to grab attention from consumers who didn't even realize that Radio Shack was still in business. So they're now a cryptocurrency exchange platform. I didn't know they were around either.
Yeah.
They're looking at other blockchain initiatives, and they believe the brand name can help that cryptocurrency become more mainstream. And it seems to be working, Kirby. They've had over 100% increase in Twitter followers since June 28th. So just 2 weeks, they've doubled their Twitter followers, and the traffic to the Radio Shack website increased over 49% since that same date. So someone bought the digital assets of a name that a lot of us know, and so he owns it. It has nothing to do with the old Radio Shack, but he's going all in. So I want to get your thoughts on that type of a marketing strategy, taking something that, I think you and I look at, certainly growing up in the era we did. Radio Shack was a place, if I needed a couple of batteries or phone cords or things like that, I could get it. They'd always ask your phone number, which is really weird, and you'd get your stuff and go. Totally different business, totally different business model. And the marketing that they're doing is certainly polarizing, to say the least. So what say you, Kirby Hasseman?
Yeah, I have fairly mixed feelings. So the reason I would say is it's marketing and entrepreneurship. So I love this topic. So the idea of being irreverent for the purpose of being authentic, as you have taught me, and having a voice, and I love all that. Right? Like, I love the idea that you're like, hey, we are going to say some shit that not everybody's going to like, and we're going to have some fun with it. I love that. I love it when brands do that. I love the idea of vitalizing, regenerating old brands. Like, and I think you've seen a lot of that with, everything that's old has become new again. And, all the 80s stuff is really popular and stuff like that. So I think that's really cool. The idea that a company called Radio Shack is selling cryptocurrency now, there's kind of a disconnect for me there. Like, so that's the part where I when I say I have mixed feelings, that's kind of confusing for me. And I guess I'll quote Donald Miller from Building Your Story Brand: when you confuse, you lose. Love the tactic. I think it sounds fun and it's interesting. And if you'd have told me, hey, we're just bringing back Radio Shack, but we're going to do it online and we're going to do all this other different stuff, then I think it'd be interesting. But the idea that now, the Shoe Depot now sells water doesn't make a ton of sense to me.
Yeah, I don't fall far different than you do on the topic. Again, the marketing is very polarizing. You have lovers, you have haters, but that means that's working.
Yeah,
right?
I like that part.
You want to stand for something. But here's the thing: Radio Shack hasn't had a clear position in the market for decades.
Yeah,
and they needed some sort of new foundation. I agree. From a just a quick glance perspective, Radio Shack has nothing to do with cryptocurrency. Neither radios nor shacks mean anything in the crypto world, right?
Yeah, that's right.
But it's an interesting ploy to say, here's a digital asset in terms of a brand name that basically is gone.
Right.
I now own it. I picked it up on the cheap and I want to make it something else. So I think there's some interesting things that I agree that there's such a disconnect there. It doesn't make sense to me.
But it's an interesting concept. Yeah.
It really is. And so anybody who wants a good giggle and you're not easily offended, give @Radio Shack a follow on the Twitter. I think you'll get a good giggle out of it.
Okay, I like that. That's good. We're breaking new. What was it? Cash and checks and breaking necks. That's
yeah. So their old business plan: politely sell HDMI cords to customers. New business plan: snapping necks and cash and checks.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Well, cool. Right, Kirby. All right, my turn. Right. So
yes, sir.
I am an avid reader of the blogs, and there are several blogs that I read every week, and one of them is yours. And you had some fairly big news at Brandivate this week, and so I was kind of curious just to ask about that. You obviously you and Kelsey Cunningham founded Brandivate a few years ago, and I'll let you sort of tell this, but if I understand correctly, she's looking to spread her wings and do something different now. So tell me more.
Yeah. Oh, Kirby, thank you for asking. No, and I actually didn't know you were going to ask. So, Kelsey and I have been close friends for a long, long time. And when we started Brandivate, we had a joint vision for it, and we were able to execute against that. As Brandivate evolved, your customers tell you who you are, right? And as it evolved, it really morphed into something that she wasn't enjoying as much. We're growing like wildfire, but she wasn't loving it.
Right.
She was certainly critical to the contributions on the back end of things. You know, it's all those things people don't see where she was really making her hay here. And so it just wasn't what she wanted to do. She didn't want to sit behind a desk all day. And so for the last 3-4 months, her and I've been really talking about it. We've had some very candid conversations, and it was time to go. It was time for her to do what she wanted to do. And as she so eloquently put it, follow her career heart. She wanted to go back to the supplier side. So there's nothing nefarious here. There's no big drama, no gotchas. She just really wanted to go to the supplier side of things. And so we worked out a deal. I bought her out of the partnership, and I'm excited for her next move. She's going to announce that, I think, next week. And so real excited about that. But here, brandivate, here's what we're doing. What we're doing is we're still growing very much. As Josh Robbins at Vault and I were kind of putting promocations together, we realized we had some similar back office needs. So a lot of the back office needs that Kelsey was not just doing, but also kind of managing, that's going to shift. And we've got that shared resource with Vault. And I'm still going to be the creative director, the creative visionary at brandivate, and doing those type of things. So no, I don't think from an outside perspective, people are going to see much of a difference. Of course, I'm going to miss having Kelsey's opinion and having her dynamic and her energy here, but brandivate's going to move forward quickly. And, to a point where we're probably looking at hiring some people in the coming months as well, because there's things we need to do. But it's one of those things, and that not everything lasts forever. And again, it would be, I'm not the type of person that if she's not happy, then she needs to find a place to be happier. This just wasn't fulfilling that. It wasn't scratching that itch from a career perspective as the company evolved.
Well, I'm excited to hear that things are rolling, doing well. Obviously, you and I we talk outside of just when we record this podcast. And so I'm glad things are going great, and excited that things are going to continue to grow and evolve. So that's cool. Congrats.
Oh, yeah. I mean, thank you. And look, I'm happy for her. I'm happy for brandivate. I'm happy we have for my friendship with Kelsey. So it's all good, nothing bad. And, things change. And a lot of times, most times when things change, it's for the better. I believe this is best for everybody. Cool. So I'm happy. I'm happy for her. Cool. All right, cool. Thank you for asking. All right, Kirby. Moonpie sunscreen. I don't even know how to bring that topic up other than just say Moonpie sunscreen. You're familiar with the Moonpie, correct? It's a marshmallowy marshmallow thingy between two cookies dipped in chocolate, right? The Moonpie.
Sure. I mean, I've heard of it, but that sounds gross to me, but it's fine.
Well, so they launched a sunbad sunscreen on summer solstice because they love the moon. They hate the sun. So it's protection from the mean old sun. It has what I do like about this. It has one of those great uses of the sense that we struggle with the most in our industry, which is a sense of smell, right? Most products don't come with a sense of smell, but it has a really sweet scent of a moon pie. And I always remember when I was a kid, one of the things back when they had suntan oil when we were kids, and I remember copper tone, and I love the smell of coconut. Oh man, I still love that smell, right? It's such a great smell. But anyway, so this sunscreen smells like moon pie. I'm really, really digging the creativity when I see all these companies thinking differently on how to create an experience for the end user. And I really think that's come out of the pandemic. I mean, there were some collaborations before. There was some certainly creative use of promotional products and merchandise before. But the more I look at it, I really look at the pandemic as this really cool moment where we all had the chance to reset. We've talked about that on the podcast. But I think it allowed people to really think differently on how can we maybe join forces? How do we collaborate? How do we maybe introduce things we haven't done before? How can we be a little more irreverent and stand out? I wanted to get your take on, we're going to look back in years and say, we all lived through a pandemic. What are the good things that came out of it? And I think one of them is creativity, and I want to get your take on that. And I also wanted to ask you a question after you are done with that.
Yeah. So one of the things that pops into my head as you were saying it, I was like, I think it forced didn't force, but it created an opportunity for people to think more three-dimensionally with their marketing. And then I kind of modified that in my brain. It's like, no, it's more five-dimensionally, because people are incorporating all of the senses when they think about creating that experience. Like you said,
right.
I mean, when people are thinking about a trade show, they don't always think about creating something that attaches all the five senses. So I do some SBDC coaching, and it's so funny when I go into a retail establishment, I talk about it. I'm like, what does it sound like when somebody walks in here? What does it smell like? How do you immerse them in it? And I think what people have done is they've started to think about that with their marketing and their brand merchandise. And I think that is one of the things, and not that nobody did that before, but you're seeing it in a much more, many more brands are doing that. And I agree with you. I think that's exciting.
Yeah, I do too. So I'm going to ask you, just off top of your head, and I wrote these down literally 4 minutes before we recorded. So I don't have that much of a home field advantage on this one.
Okay.
What are the most creative merchandise collaborations or things you've seen since the pandemic? And I'm going to say a couple just to give you a chance to kind of think. So you don't even have to listen. This isn't even for you. I don't care.
Okay.
We talked a few weeks ago about the Miller Lite charcoal briquettes. I thought that was a genius. I thought that was a really good one. I thought the Bud Light collaboration with Homesick Candles, where they created a tailgate smell, I thought that was a really cool one. And then Arby's with the French fry vodka. I tried to get my hands on that, but didn't get it. And it occurred to me, it seems like most of the cutting edge brands that are doing this are alcohol, which I thought was interesting.
So it's funny you say that, because this morning, a good friend of mine who I graduated with and I talk to once a year or whatever, posted something, I'm not sure which social media platform, and it was Busch beer hand soap. And I was like, now that's
Duke
something.
Cannon. I think that's Duke Cannon does that.
Okay. Well, I was like, oh, that's kind of fun. And then I think you and I have talked about this before in here, but KFC did a bunch of creative merchandise. And one of the pieces included Crocs. And it was funny because, and again, I apologize if I told this story, but one of our sales reps, Jeff, took that home, the whole thing, and showed his wife. And his wife was like, those are the worst things I've ever seen. And their 11-year-old daughter walked in and said, I must have those Crocs. And it was like, I think that seeing those kind of sort of collaborations and how they speak to different audiences so wildly differently, like you were talking about the Twitter feed, right? Like some people love it, some people hate it. I think those are the ones that popped into my head. No,
I love that. And I think that speaks to, more than anything, different audiences want different things. And so you really need to pick a lane. You can't be everything to everybody. Hey, distributors, is your marketing working? If you can't answer that question with an immediate yes, then you need to reach out to Promo Pulse. That's right. They can help you consistently amplify your sales through stunningly beautiful outbound marketing that's so easy. You can customize it, set it, and forget it in only 5 quick minutes. That's right. Head over to promopulse.io/amp to learn more. All right, Kirby, you got another topic for us?
I do. This is one I've been wanting to bring up, and it just always kind of gets bumped down. And I really want your take. So, I've seen this in a couple different areas, but Adweek, okay? Adweek is a company that I get emails from all the time. I signed up for them, and I don't remember signing up for them, but honestly, when I get them, I'm like, oh, those are, I'm always interested by the headlines. So then I click on them to read the article, and I'm immediately met with a paywall. And a couple questions. Number one, is that only irritating to me? Is it a totally legit business model? Because again, they're creating really cool content that obviously is getting my attention. Is it the wave of the future? Is that going to break away? Like, it's one of those where I'm like, okay, I've considered paying, but I never have, just for what that's worth, because I'm just like, a lot of it, I'm like, oh, I'll just go Google it. And then I find what I was looking for if I'm that interested in it. But I guess I'm asking, as a content creator, is the paywall a totally legit business model? Is it just irritating? What say you, Bill?
Yes, it's a totally legit business model. And yes, it's irritating. I can't stand it, right? But I understand that they need to monetize what they do, right? No one I don't know what the subscription rates for actual hardcore magazines or print publications, newspapers included, are anymore, but I know it's a lot less than it used to be.
Right.
And I guess the ad revenue isn't supporting it enough.
Right.
I don't like the paywall. I don't at all. I find it to be a super friction laden business model that tends to, more than anything, drive me away.
Right.
I've never found a piece of content that I had to read so bad I was willing to put in my information for a free 7-day subscription where I'm going to be charged $6 a month thereafter till I forget about it, and add yet another thing I'm going to forget about from a subscription service that I pay for every month.
Right.
I'll do exactly what you do. I will Google it. I'll try to find a back door to it, because a lot of times you can. Right. But after about 38 seconds, if I can't find it, I will move on. And you know what? Dinner's still on the table at the same time. The sun still comes up tomorrow morning. My life doesn't change a hell of a lot. So I'd rather people and companies figure out ways to use advertising within the content that would compel me to click on the advertisement or watch the advertisement or whatever the call to action is than the paywall. ASI does this. We've been effusive in our praise of ASI, especially since the onset of the pandemic. Right. I cannot stand that their industry news is behind a paywall. I'm not a member of ASI. And so and I've run into it a lot when I'm researching this podcast, when I'm thinking what's going on in promo that I'm not aware of. And I think when you have a paywall, you're truly limiting your audience. I think a better business model is really to figure out, how do we have advertising sponsors pay enough to make it so we are a conduit for an audience?
Right. Yeah. One of the things that I was thinking about is similar, probably concept for you. It's like, okay, is there a way to give content for free, but then give enhanced access for a fee? I think ESPN sort of does that. And some of the, where it's like ESPN will have all the content for free, but if you want insider information on the draft or whatever, then it's this much. To me, that makes a little bit more sense, because then I'm like, okay, I actually do want, like, because I guess from my perspective, the content then becomes a funnel, because Adweek has some interesting stuff. And dude, it's built for us to come up with content for this particular podcast. So I would be interested in it. And honestly, if I could read it and decided it was easier, they were delivering it to me, well, then I might be more likely to pay for the subscription. But instead I'm like, I should start deleting the emails, because I'm like, I don't even want to read the headlines of the emails, because then I won't be able to read the article and it'll piss me off.
I think there's a slight hybrid that works. Sports Illustrated, ESPN is a great example you use. They have ESPN and you have access to almost everything on the site. And then they have ESPN Plus, which you pay, I don't know, $6 a month or $8 a month, whatever it is. And you get insider access and things that other people can't get. I like that. I think what Sports Illustrated does is, irrelevant as they've become, which quite frankly they have. I used to subscribe to Sports Illustrated, the paper magazine, for 30 years, and I don't. Yeah. On their website, I believe you get all their news is always free. So whatever falls in the news, sports news category, that's never going to be charged for. For their articles and in-depth things, you get 3 or 4 a month for free, and they use cookies and your IP address to figure that out. I like that, because the more I read, okay, man, I want to know more about that. I might be willing to pay. You have to take that drug dealer approach to things. Let me give you a little taste. Here's a little taste. And if you like it, you got to come to Big Daddy for more. And I think that approach makes a lot more sense to me than not.
All right. Okay, cool. Thanks for that.
Yeah. Hey, one quick thing before we wrap it up, and I meant to say this during the brandivate section. One thing we're going to do is we do the beverage of the week every Friday. Something we've done for 7 years. Every Friday for 7 years, we do a beverage of the week. Okay. We're still going to do that. That is just part of the DNA of this business, this organization. But we're going to start throwing it out to people to participate with us. Okay. So starting the week of July 18th, we're going to start having guest beverage of the week people. Josh Robbins is going to do one. Kirby, I know you've committed to doing one. Kelsey Cunningham's going to make a triumphant return and do one as well. So anybody who's interested in participating in beverage of the week, brandivate beverage of the week, please shoot me an email at bill@brandivatemarketing.com. I'd love to have you do it. Excuse me. Ellie Bath is going to do one. So we want to make it a more communal experience. So
yeah, I think if I'm a betting person, I bet I know what Ellie Bath is going to do from a beverage perspective, and so that's exciting. And who knows?
I looked at the Las Vegas sport book. Ellie Bath and what she's going to do is off the books. We all know, but even though we know, I still want to see what she comes up with.
Oh, for sure, because she's creative.
So that's the beauty of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I hope you don't mind that shameless plug. I very rarely shamelessly plug my own company on this podcast. Well, neither one of us do. Yeah. You know, but it's just something I wished to do. And because I wished to do it, I did it. But if you're a distributor and you wish that working with suppliers was easier, well, I got some good news. Kirby and I are granting that wish right now. That's right. You want things to go easy. You want constant communication. You want someone on the other side of that computer screen or phone to fold their arms just like Jeannie did when she granted wishes in the great 1960s sitcom starring Larry Hagman and Barbara Eden, I Dream of Jeannie. Look no further than our good pals over at Evans Manufacturing. Great products, quality merchandise, and they care about your success. And they have built their entire culture and ecosystem around making your life easier. So you want to learn more. You want to get some of your time back. You want a supplier that has your back. Look no further than Evans Manufacturing. Visit them at evans-mfg.com. You won't be sorry you did. Kirby, it's been a pleasure podcasting with you today. I hope you have a wonderful remainder of your day in Coshocton, Ohio.
Thanks, brother. See you.
That's right.